hybrid inheritance. ఇది చేయలేరా మీరు? Go to the place. It's my time waste. మీకు lack of knowledge. Go to the place. 9 a.m. Whoops. Close this entire stuff. Close this entire thing. I thought that you will do very easily. Now there. So hybrid inheritance. It's a dead easy. It's my time waste. So here, take this example. Come in. So this is an example of hybrid inheritance. If you are asking this means you are totally out of order. Class C1, I am writing X, D of X, print of C1 X, C1 X method. I'll take class C2. I'll take class C2. C2 is going to be subclass of C1. If you don't practice, you will get that type of doubt. If you practice well, this is not at all an issue. I'll take the class C3. Class C3. C3 is going to be according to this diagram C1 again. C1, C3. Next I'll go to one more kind of class C4. C4 is taking from C2. C2. This is called C4. So next is called C5. C5 is taking from C3. C3. This is C5. So next I will go to C6. C6. How easy it is. And you are asking hybrid inheritance, hierarchical inheritance. We can chapali. C6. So now I am going to write main program. Which object I have to create? C6 object I have to create. Enta easy and anta easy. O6 is equal to C6. This is all called a simply overridden method of X only. O6 dot X. O6 dot X. You will get the answer of what? C6X. C6 class X method. Now I want to call any of the method which I already said in the class. Very specifically I said C6 class want to call this method called C1. How do you call it? C1 dot super of is not possible. You have to say C1 dot X of self I need to write. So I will write it here. Go to C1 dot X of what? Self. X of self. So you'll be getting C6 and C1. I want to write it. మళ్ళీ అది రాకుంటే మళ్ళీ కష్టం సార్, అది చెప్పలేదు అంటారు మళ్ళా. సో సూపర్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్, వాట్ ద సూపర్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్? C6 super is C3. C6 super is C3. C6 super is C3. C6 super is C5, whose X method will come. So here, super of X, which will come the super class of that, C3X. Here, C3 I wrote it here. C6 is having the super class is C4 and then C5 actually. So I need to write what? C4 and C5. C4 and C5. In this case, which one will be given preference? C4. Already explained. If I want to call C5, what you will do? C5 dot X of self. So got it. C5. From C5, I want to call C3. What I will do? Super of dot what? X of. Super related thing will be coming. C5 is calling C3. Go to C3. C3. C3 want to call C1. I will take what here? Super of X. Also calling. C4 want to call the C2. What I will do here? Super of X. Super of X. See this answer now. Got it. ఏముంది ఇందులో? ఏముందమ్మా? మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయరు, మళ్ళీ అదే అడుగుతారు. సార్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే మీరు చూద్దాం అనుకుంటా ఉంటారు. సో దిస్ ఇస్ డెడ్ ఈజీ. సో ఆఫ్ సెల్ఫ్ దిస్ ఈస్ అన్ అవుట్పుట్. అగైన్ ఐఎమ్ కాలింగ్ C1. ఉంది ఇందులో. సో దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ హైబ్రిడ్ అన్నాడు. ఏమీ లేదు ఇందులో. సింపుల్. సో వన్ మోర్. హైరార్కల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్. Hierarchical inheritance, I'll go. Hierarchical inheritance. Dot py. Because lack of practicing, you will get the type of doubter. Class teacher. Class teacher. DEF. Do. Do work. Do work. So here, print. Teacher. Teachers. The subject. Right. This is the function having. There I am writing class. Class. Student 1. Student 1 of teacher. Teacher. This is going to be do work is coming here. Here do work is coming. What I'm doing? Overriding. Print of what? Student 1. Practice. Practice the the teacher assigned work. Assigned work. Assigned work. Done. Student 2. Student 2. I'm going to write it. Student 2 also called what? Teacher. Teacher. This is student 2. Do work. Overriding. Student 2 does not practice. Does not practice the work assigned. Does not practice the teacher assigned work. This is comes under what? Teacher. Teacher class. Teacher class is super class for both student 1 and student 1. Student 1 and student 2. This is called what inheritance? Hierarchical inheritance. ఏముంది ఇందులో? ఏమీ లేదు. Simple. Main program. Simple. So I will create what? ST1 is equal to student of. ST1 is equal to student of. ST2 is equal to student of. Student of. So ST1 dot do work. Do work. ST2 dot do work. So both of them will execute the corresponding things. Student 1 practice the teacher assigned work. Student 2 does not practice the teacher assigned work. To call both of them by the superclass, I will call it as what? Super dot what? Do work. Student 2 is calling and student 1 also calling. ఏముంది అందులో? Very simple. Done. Student related job, student 2 related job. Instead of writing super of, you can write what? Teacher of. Teacher of. Dot what? Self. ఏముంది అందులో? Very simple. Teacher of do work of simple. Self. Done. ఏముంది అందులో? So ఏముంది అందులో? Nothing is there. నా టైం వేస్ట్ తప్పేం లేదు. ఇట్స్ మై టైం వేస్ట్. Anyhow, completed. Okay now? Happy? Happy. So now I'll move to the further. Now I'll enter into multi-threading. I will go. Multi-threading. Certain things you have to do it. Certain things you have to do it. So if you try to say that kind of thing, I should get a lot of doubts about your talent. So this is how simple it is. And while I'm writing this diagram, I wrote it. I can call this kind of thing directly. I can call any one of it. I can call any one of it by using which approach? Class name approach. So come to the point of it. I'll move to the multi-threading. So multi-threading in Python, which is an important in product-based companies if you go. As on today, it is not in project-based because already Python, Django, almost all the technologies by default contains what? Multi-threading is already present in the technologies itself. When you go for technology development, if you are entering, it will be an important. Still, we will talk about that. Now I will enter into the indexing here. Multi-threading. Java also containing multi-threading. .NET also containing multi-threading. So many languages are containing multi-threading. Even C++ also there is a multi-threading. C language does not contain multi-threading. Of course, strong multi-threading facilities are not there, but it is most important now. So multi-threading in Python. So now I'm going to talk about here index. Now I'm talking purpose of purpose of multi-threading in Python. Why multi-threading in Python? What is the purpose of multi-threading? I will explain. Next, I'm going to talk about something like multitasking versus multitasking versus multitasking versus multi-threading. Multitasking versus multi-threading. Next, I'm talking about definition of threading, definition of thread, definition of thread. Next, I'm going to talk about it. Multitasking versus multi-threading, definition of thread. Next, I'm going to talk about it. Another type of mechanism, definition of multitasking versus. And next is what? Purpose of thread. Purpose of thread. Very, very important. Next, I'm going to talk about it. Default thread mechanism. After that, I will go for module name. Module name required for module name required for required for required for developing developing multi-threading applications. Multi-threading applications. Next, I'm going to take about before that I would like to go for it, or of course in the beginning only I will go for it. Types of applications, types of applications, types of applications in where I will write it. Number one, process-based applications. Process-based applications. I'm going to talk about it. Second one is called thread-based applications. Thread-based applications. Thread-based applications. I'm going to talk about it. Process-based applications and thread-based applications. I want to go for it. Now, purpose of multi-threading, and I will go for after this. This will come. Purpose of module name required for that. That module name is called threading. Module name is called threading. Next, I will talk about it. Functions, functions and classes. Functions or detailed discussion about functions and classes and classes in threading module. In threading module, we'll discuss it in detail. Next, I will go for entering into that. Number of approaches. Here I will discuss. This is one part. Next, I'm going to talk about number of approaches. Number of approaches to develop thread-based applications. Thread-based applications. There I'm writing by one number one by using process-based by using functional programming. Functional programming. Second one by using object-oriented programming. By using object oriented programming. So there we will discuss by programming examples. So here I'm going to take up one more kind of thing. In this case, we are talking about multiple programming examples. Next, I will talk about creating multiple threads, creating multiple threads, multiple threads, and its flows, and its flows, followed by programming examples here. This is second level. And the third level, I will go to deadlock occurrence, deadlock occurrence, deadlock occurrence, and deadlock occurrence. Now, deadlock removal, deadlock removal, deadlock elimination, elimination by using thread synchronization techniques, thread synchronization techniques, thread synchronization techniques, and followed by implementation of implementation of lock class, lock class, and I'll go for programming examples. This is the index of multithreading. Index of multithreading, especially only in my class, multithreading I'm explaining with oops in every institute. So especially here, it will be finished. So I'm going to talking about after multithreading, networking I'll discuss, regular expressions I'll discuss, and iterators, some missing topics if anything is there. Date and time I will discuss. I'm going to discuss all of them. So in priority wise, I'm going on completing the things. So let's start up. Right. So let us start with multi-threading in Python. So let me save it in this place. I'll go to this place, E colon 9 a.m. threads you created. So I'm going to enter into threads. So there I will take it inside of that index. So here, index of multi-threading. So now I will enter into the applications, types of applications I will start with. Students, come out of that. Now I'm going to move to the application development here. Now students, before going to discuss that, try to understand the simplest meaning of multi-threading here. Before entering into that, multi-threading is completely new topic for you, which you did not heard about it earlier. Have you heard about it earlier? Come on, మాట్లాడండి. No. Java students are there here? Hmm? Faroz, so how many days this topic takes, sir? This is 3-4 days it will take until this entire topic is completing. Until this entire topic is completing. Right? So actually, it's not necessary for you nowadays because everything you are doing with project based existing technology is already containing what multi-threading. Now we are going to take up in product based companies. If we go, these questions will be coming from here. So let us start with first. You take the simplest example because I want to go to technical example, but by seeing this inheritance example, I decided to tell you some layman example first. So let us watch this now. Simply, I will go to this now. This is a person, that is you are this person, you are this person sitting in my class. And now I'm going to take up, now I'm going to take up, you are here. Okay. Now, this person, you are sitting in my class. What are you doing by sitting in class? You answer me. By sitting in my class, what are you doing? Hmm? Come on. Ma? Question చెప్పరు ఆన్సర్లు చెప్పరు అట్లీస్ట్ యూ ఆన్సర్ దిస్ వాట్ ఆర్ యూ డూయింగ్ బై సిట్టింగ్ ఇన్ మై క్లాస్ గుడ్ లిజనింగ్ ద క్లాస్ వెరీ నైస్ లిజనింగ్ ద క్లాస్ ఓకే గుడ్ నైస్ ఆన్సర్ లిజనింగ్ ద క్లాస్ లిజనింగ్ ద క్లాస్ ఓకే Listen. I will take it as listen. Okay. Nice. Next, anything else? What are you doing next? Listening. Huh? Chandu, watching KVR, sir. You are not watching me. How can you watch? You are listening. That's all. So, KVR, sir is not visible for you. Right. Pragnadeep, he is observing. He is observing. So, he is observing. So, he is observing. He is observing. But next, next, what are you doing? Observing. Next, next. Hmm. That is called observing only. Watching the screen is nothing but observing only. Watching the screen is nothing but observing only. Next, ఏం రాదా మనకు అసలు? What is that? Running Python. Where I am running Python? Running Python. Learning Python. Okay. So instead of learning Python, understanding subject. మీకు మాట్లాడడం రాదు. Understanding Python. So understanding subject. That is one thing. Understanding. That is one thing. Next, what are you doing? Hmm. What are you doing? Come on. Good. Something good. Really good. What is that? Don't fear when I am here. Hmm. What are you doing? Interacting with me or not? Right. Interacting with me. Interacting with me. Interacting with a teacher. Hmm. Next. Interacting with a teacher. Next. Come on. Kavya. Improving knowledge. Okay. Good. Pragnadeep. Interacting means answering only. Answering right or wrong, the God knows. Guido Van Rossum knows. Next. Next. Asking questions. Sanika. Interacting means that only. Faraj. Taking life lessons because I am not a motivator here. Sleeping. Okay. Umakant is sleeping. Right. No. I'm not writing sleeping. While you are sleeping, you are not listening. While you are sleeping, you are not interacting. While you are sleeping, you are not observing. No, I'm not writing that. Next step. Next step. Now I will write it. So while you are writing, your body changes are occurring or not? When I say something, smiling. When I say something, moving the head like this. There is some changes are occurring in the body or not? So changes taking place. Changes taking place. That is next. While I'm going to explain, while I'm explaining, while I'm explaining, you are doing some changes. Next is called while I'm explaining what is happening. You are giving smile, right or not? It's called changes are occurring. Sometimes you are becoming serious also because you are not remembering something. The sorry is daily giving shock by shock, not remembering, feeling by yourself. And you are taking breath also, right or not? Taking breath or not? You also are observing. Sir, are we taking really like that? Taking breath or not? చెప్పండమ్మా. Because I want to tell you directly subject. You won't understand. That's why I'm giving layman example. Come on. Correct? Taking breath or not? Right. Done. These operations, etc. Like that, we are going on doing like this. So many number of operations you are going. Tell me, these many operations are performed by what? One person only. So in the mind of this person, your brain is something like this is called a program. He is doing this operation. He is doing this operation. One by one you are doing or all at once you are doing? One by one, all at once. One. All at once. One by one is totally wrong answer. So if you say answers, don't come here. Please be in the home only. So listening, observing, understanding, interacting, changes in the body, taking the breath, are going on simultaneously simultaneously means what? Same time. Concurrency means what? Parallelly. Concurrency, simultaneous execution, parallel execution are the synonyms we can call. Synonyms these are called. So in your mind, there are lot of flows are created. One of the flow created for listening, one more flow is created for observing, one more flow is created for understanding, one more flow is created for interacting, one more flow is created for changing, one more flow is created for taking the breath. These are the these are the number of operations simultaneously going on in your brain. This type of operations which are going on in our brain are not one by one, are not one by one. One by one means what? Sleeping after listening or listening after sleeping. This is called what operations? One by one. While sleeping, will you listen? No. That's called a dreaming. While sleeping, you are getting a dream that class is going on. Is it possible? So while sleeping, you can't do anything else. So this is called what? Any operation you will perform one by one, that is known as what? Sequential execution. One more is called what? Concurrent execution. So I'll just mention it and I will mention it. Sequential execution, sequential execution, and one more is called what? Concurrent execution. Concurrent execution. So sequential execution. One more is called what? Concurrent execution. Concurrent execution is nothing but what? Simultaneous execution we can call. Sequential execution and concurrent execution. What do you mean by sequential execution? There's a critical point here. Once you understand this example, things are becoming super easy. What is meant by sequential execution? One by one execution is called sequential. All at once execution is called concurrent execution. So what these operations are called? What a student will do: listening, observing, and then understanding and interacting, and then changes are happening, and then taking a breath. These are all called what? Concurrent execution. You take it. Present internet world, you take it. Present internet world, you take it. How this internet world is Gmail, you take an example. Gmail. How Gmail is interacting with the people. One Gmail is providing interaction with lakhs of and trillions and millions of people at a time or not. That means Gmail is containing which kind of concept of processing? Concurrent execution, simultaneous execution, parallel execution. So the total internet world is containing which type of execution? Concurrent execution. ATMs you take it, your business apps you take it. All business apps can be used by everybody simultaneously or not. ATMs you take it. These are all comes under what? Internally uses what? Concurrent execution. To use the concurrent execution, there is a concept called what? Multi-threading. So multi-threading purpose is to provide what? Concurrent execution. So that kind of concurrent execution already present in the industry related technologies that you need not write specially concurrency, especially in your projects. Already technologies by default contains what? Multi-threading. If at all you are going to place in the technology development, when you get a job in the product based companies, that time you will be thinking about the multi-threading. Sir, product based companies, this life not enough, sir. Next life, if I come back once again, there is a chance of doing from LKG or fifth class onwards. IIT coaching, I will take it. That time I will enter into IITs, NITs. That time I will think about it. This life is enough for project based companies. If you think multi-threading, you can take very lightweight. And if you go to multi-threading, and actually it is a typically people will feel it is a complex, but it is a dead easy. So let us start with concurrent execution and sequential execution. What do you understand about the sequential execution? Performing the operations one by one is called what? Sequential execution. Sequential execution. Next is called what? One more kind of thing is known as what? Concurrent execution. What is the concurrent execution here? All at once. All at once is called what? Concurrent execution. So let me explain one more thing. As a teacher in the class, what I am doing, as a last and finally, you only tell me. As a teacher in the class, what I am doing, tell me. Hmm. As a teacher in the class, what I am doing. If you answer it, then I will move to the further. Teaching. Okay. Next. Teaching. Next. Hmm? Teaching. Next. తర్వాత ఏం రాదు ఇంకా తెలుసు. Number one is called what? Teaching. Next is called what? Hmm. Hmm? What is that? Typing. Okay, good. Typing. Next. Next. Thinking the order of topic to be written. Thinking the order of subject to present. Thinking the order of subject to present. Subject to present. Next, I'm going to take up what? Next, I'm going to see what I'm going to do. I am observing the students who is listening and who is sleeping. Observing. Next, what is happening? Observing the online students and their charting. And next is called what? Another thing called what? Observing means all sorts of things will be covered. Shouting on you and then taking some type of everything. Interacting with students and everything is called observing with the students. Next, what? Taking breath. Taking breath. These are all comes under what? These are all comes under what type of operations? Simultaneously, these many things are going on. Now, I'm going to give you one small definition here. In my brain, if this is called a Python program or Java program, what is this program doing? Here, one separate flow is created. A separate flow is created for teaching. A separate flow is created for typing. A separate flow is created for thinking the subject. A separate flow is created for observing the students. A separate flow is created for taking the breath. A separate flow is created by yourself for listening. A separate flow is created for observing. A separate flow is created for understanding. A separate flow is created for interacting. A separate flow is created for all these things. So, in the brain of the student, these many flows are running. Those flows are called what? Threads. Those flows are called threads. What is a thread? What is a thread? Here also separate flows are there for doing the maybe one thread, maybe more than one thread. What is this thread is called? Come on, answer is what? A flow of control. A flow of control is called what? Is called what? Thread. A flow of control is called thread. You are going on the bike. These are all general examples. You are going on the bike. What are you doing? Watching the front or not? One thread is created. And changing the gears or not? Another thread is created. Next, what we will do? Changing the gears and increasing the speed or not? Another flow is created. How many flows are there in the body that time? Three. And what is the next? You are something seen left side nice. You will watch or not? While driving, while changing, increasing the speed, something looks nice. You will watch. Something also looking right side also nice. Something also back side also nice. Because of creating these many flows, what will happen? Something will occur in the front. That is called a collision will occur. That is called eliminating the deadlock situation. So, too many threads creation is also drawback. The too many threads creation is going to come under what? Deadlock occurrence is going to come. I'll explain programmatically in the class. So, come to the conclusion. What is the definition of thread? How you can imagine this diagram? That imagination I'll show in the coding also. Tell me what is the definition of thread? Flow of control is called what? Thread. When I go to my Gmail verification, whenever I pass my username and password, one thread creates to my inbox, to my browser to what? Gmail. If you open your own browser and if you enter your own username, you will get one more thread is created. Lakhs of people who are connecting to the Gmail, there is a lakhs of threads will be created in the Gmail application. So what is the thread? A flow of control is called thread. What is the use of thread? Thread is first of all a lightweight component which is existing inside the program. The purpose of thread is to perform the operation whose logic written inside of the method, inside of the function. Now I am going to say, I am going to conclude my sentences. Every type of thread is going to execute the method or function. Function contains what? Logic. Operational logic will present. So the type of operational logic is executed by what? Thread. So what is the use of thread? Come on. What is the use of thread? It performs the operation. Every type of method. Actually, I need to tell in the functions only. Every function is bottom level in the PVM level executed by what? Thread only. So every method is executed by whom? Every method is executed by whom? Every function is executed by whom? Right. How many methods I am having here? Six or six functions are there. All six functions are executed by whom? Threads only. Threads only. I'll show that how the function is executed by the thread. Programmatically, I will show you all these things. Teaching is called what? One function. Whose logic executed by whom? Thread. Whose typing also I'm going to execute. Next, order of the subject I'm delivering and observing the students. This is comes under taking the breath. These are all comes under what? Methods. So these are comes under methods or functions. Now I'm going to tell you what is the purpose of creating a thread. The purpose of creating a thread is to perform the operation whose operational logic is available inside of a functions. So anything you click or anything you click on hyperlink or in a touchpad or touch screen, anything you touch, some piece of code is executed, which is written in the form of what? Functions. In a bottom line of subject, all the functions are executed by threads. So here are three things you have to learn it. What is a thread? Purpose of a thread. That's all. Two things if you learn, it is more than enough. What is the definition of thread? Flow of control. How you can imagine the flow of control? When I'm going on the way after my class, I'm watching the front road, it is called one thread. I'm thinking something in my brain, it is called some other thread. I'm eating something, some other thread. Eating is going on, watching the road is going on, and then thinking something, talking in the phone also going on. Eating, talking, walking, everything is going on. Every thread is doing its own job. It is known as what? Thread purpose. What is the purpose of thread? Performing the operation. Here I am writing. Very, very important. Purpose of thread. Purpose of thread. What is the purpose of thread? Performing the operation. Performing the operation. These three things are very, very important. Performing the operations whose logic developed in, whose logic available in, available in where? Functions or what? Methods. Functions in object orient, functions in functional programming, methods in where? Methods in where? Come on. Oops. So the purpose of thread, you know, definition of thread, you know. So once you are remembering this line, the things will become dead easy now. We'll show the same thing programmatically also to you students, but you try to follow me carefully. I hope it is clear to you. What is the definition of thread? Law of control. What is the purpose of thread? Come on. Perform the operation whose logic is available in the form of what? Functions. So every function executed by whom? Hmm. Every function executed by whom? That's all. So I will show you that. So if I go to an interview, who will execute the Python program? Who will execute the Python program? PVM. PVM. So when you call the function, who will go to the function? PVM. Generally, we discuss so far. Now today onwards, PVM, the moment when program execution starts, internally, PVM initiate one thread. PVM will initiate one thread. That thread will execute the statements which are present in the main program as well as functions. That thread name is called main thread. How you can understand the PVM initiate the thread? Something like this. Some imagination is required because I am the programmer. I know what is the threading. With that imagination, I'm saying the subject for you because I've seen the programming of the threading is with that imagination. How you can understand as a student beginning time when you are listening, you are writing the notes now. You are writing the notes or not? With what you are writing? Come on, pen. Really, you are not writing with pen. Inside the pen, what is present? Refill is there. So you are writing the notes with pen or refill? Refill. So pen is like a PVM. Inside the pen, there is a refill. Inside the PVM, there is a thread. That thread only will execute the statements in the program. That's important. That I will show you practically to you. Let me go to that before entering into this. Online students, did you understand this general awareness? Did you understand this general awareness? Come to the point back. Here I'm going to take it. Very easy to understand once you catch these points. This is what I'm having. This is my OS students. This is my OS. I'm taking it as a OS. Windows OS. Here I'm writing Windows OS. Windows OS I'm having. 11. Windows 11 OS I'm having. Now I'm going to enter into this place. Here I'm going to take up now. So here I'm going to take up. This is my subject. So here I'm going to write it. So this is what I'm going to take up. Carefully try to follow. So there I'm going to write it. So here I will write it. Carefully try to follow. Actually, I can directly go to the program, but doubt about you whether you will catch me or not. That's why slowly I'm trying to go for giving. So before giving injection, I'm giving chocolate, biscuit, Sprite. Later I will give injection. Directly giving injection means you cannot afford it. That's why slowly getting into the subject. Tell me, Windows OS is my OS. When I started my application development, what I started with Python, Python, command prompt open. Next I opened what? PyCharm I opened it. I opened PyCharm. I opened PyCharm. PyCharm opened. Now I opened here what you know, Edit Plus opened. Edit Plus, some notepad opened. Next I opened what here you know, Oracle database opened. Oracle database opened. Here I opened MySQL database opened. MySQL database opened. Here I opened one Paint app. I opened it. Next I opened it. What you know? Jupyter notebook opened. Jupyter notebook opened. Next is called what you know? Another one is going to be what you know? One media player opened. One media player opened. So one media player opened. Next is called what you know? Another type of thing, something like you know opened here what Python ideally open, Python ideally open, like this. So trying to come to this place now. Here what is happening now, the Windows OS is the one which is a OS here, and already you know what OS will do. What is the use of OS? What is the use of OS? It will provide the services all my applications when they are running. It acts as a resource allocation manager, resource deallocation manager. Now tell me students, when my application is running, Python command prompt open, it is the responsibility of the Windows command, Windows OS to provide the services to my Windows command prompt or not? The flow which is created to pointing to Windows command prompt, the services which is pointing to Windows command prompt, Windows OS already used multi-threading inside of the development of Windows OS. Windows OS is called what? Multi-threaded OS it is. It creates a separate flow to provide the services to Windows command prompt. It provides a separate flow for providing services for what? PyCharm. Like that, whatever the app you opened in your PC, for all the apps, what is provided? The separate flows are created. A separate flows are created here. These separated flows in my subject of OS is comes under what? Come on. They are all called what? Threads we can call. These threads are initiated by what? Windows OS. This type of processing is known as which processing in OS point of view? Parallel processing or concurrent processing or simultaneous processing we can call. That type of processing they named as OS level multitasking OS we can call. All Windows OSs are multitasking except beginning OSs like Windows 98, Windows 95, except those OSs. The rest of them are called what? Multi-threaded OSs they called. So in OS point of view, the Windows OS is providing concurrent processing. That's why it is known as what? Multitasking OS we can call. Multitasking OS we can call. So the best examples of multitasking OSs are what? Windows 95, 98 except after that whatever OSs are coming they are called multitasking OS. Unix you take it, Linux you take it, Solaris you take it, Solaris you take it, Mac you take it. These are all comes under what type of OSs? Multitasking OSs. What do you mean by multitasking? If I open multiple apps, for all the apps, services are provided by what? Windows OS simultaneously. In olden days OSs, if you see, when I keep downloading, if I'm doing my programming, na, this downloading will not take place. But present OSs will do what? Downloading will continue. Plus, I can continue my programming also. That means my OS is providing the services to how many? Multiple operations are going to be providing the services. That's why these Windows OSs are known as what? Come on, multi-threaded OSs. That's why this type of processing is known as what type of OSs? Multitasking. Such a multitasking concept brought into languages on the name of what? Multi-threading. Multi-threading. So I hope that you are understanding this discussion. I hope that you are understanding this discussion. So students, here I'm going to take up, here I'm going to take up. So final conclusion is done. Multi-threading is one of the specialized form of what? Multitasking of OS. So the word multi-threading is coming from the concept of what? Multitasking. So what do you mean by multitasking? Did you understand? If any OS performs the operations simultaneously, the type of OS is known as what? Multitasking OS. That multitasking brought into the programming languages on the name of multi-threading. So multi-threading word is coming from OS level only. So if you go to your OS subject, if you go to your OS operating system, CSC people, if you go there, there is a deadlock occurrence will be there. The deadlock occurrence will be eliminated by what? Thread synchronization. Whatever you learned conceptually, that we are implementing practically in the multi-threading. So let us start with, here we are entering into some awareness is created either by using that or by using this diagram. One is coming to a conclusion of two things. One is purpose of thread, definition of thread. What is the definition of thread? Flow of control. What is the purpose of thread? To perform the operation whose logic developed in the form of functions or methods. Good. If a Python program is containing, if a Python program is containing multiple threads, then that program is called a multi-threaded program. If any programming language contains only one thread, that is known as what, single-threaded programming language we can call. The best example is C, and I can say C++, or comes under single-threaded modeling languages. Because there is no perfect libraries are present in these languages for what? Multi-threaded programming languages. Java you take it, .NET you take it, and then Python you take it. These are comes under what? Multi-threaded programming languages. So let me talk about how these multi-threading programming languages benefited. how they are going to be useful to you people, how they are going to solve your problems, how well they are going to be fitting in the industry now. Already I mentioned one example to you. What is that example? Best example. Total internet world is running with what? Threads only. One Gmail providing interaction with how many people? Millions and trillions. Twitter, you take it. Facebook, you take it. It is going to be interacting with how many? Millions of people. That interaction with millions of people simultaneously is called which kind of concept? Multi-threading. So go to the place here. Now I'm going to take up in C++ programming how the processing will be done. I'm trying to write one small diagram here. Take care. This is called my function. Because I will write a code also, little bit code I will write it. In C++ environment, how this is going to be done. So here, this is an environment of C comma C++ programming language environment. Programming language environment I'm talking. So there I'm trying to write it. There is a function is available with me. Who will execute the C program? C shell. In the beginning days, even I said to you. So here I am having void some function name called x function. X function. So open that. Some block of statements I will write it. Some block of statements I am writing. Some block of statements I am writing. Here close. Like this, I am having one more function called what? Y function also I am having. Y function also I am having. Here I am having Y function. Here also I am having Z function. Here also I am having Z function here. These are my functions which are available. These are the functions which are available here. So, students, when you carefully observe it, when you carefully observe it, so I'll write it. Void, the function name is called x. These are my functions, students. So, as a part of main program, what are you doing? As a part of main program, what are you doing? Void main, C language I am writing. Void main, C language I am writing. X function you called it. X function you called it. Next you are calling Y function. Next you are calling Y function. Next you are calling Z function. Z function you are calling. And then closing the bracket. Closing the bracket. This is called my main program and then function definitions. And provided you have pre-declarations and all those things. Pre-declarations. Now, what is happening? Program execution started. Once the program execution started in C programming, I don't know your talent in C programming. I don't know. Really, I don't know. So, once C programming language execution starts, one thread only will be created. One thread only will be created. First of all, they have to address that. One thread will create. That one thread will, that one thread will go to the main program and looking for the first function here. What is that function called? X. These are all called X function call, semicolon, of course. That will go to where? That thread will go to where? X function executes it. That will execute. That will execute. Then next what will happen? It will execute. And next what will happen? It will come to this X, this place. Coming to next which place? Y place it will come. And after completion of Y function, that Y function will go to where? Y definition. And it will execute it. And it will again go to which place? Z place it will go. Z place it will go. And then Z place it is going to where? Function call again here it is going to Z definition. And the Z definition is getting executed. And finally coming to where? End of the program execution. This is the flow. How many threads are existing here? Only one thread is existing. So this program contains what? Single thread. This program contains a single thread. Single thread. Single thread only executed my functions. So that gives some drawbacks. What are the drawback? First of all, it contains how many threads? Single thread. In C++ programming, there is no library available to create more than one thread. There exists a single thread. That takes what? Contains a single thread. Here I will write it. Contains a single thread. That is the first point. Contains a single thread. Next point is what? Provides which type of execution? Which type of execution? Sequential execution. That is one by one is getting executed. Takes what time to execute? I will measure the time and I will show you. In timing would measure this. I will measure you the time and I will show. Takes what time to execute? More execution is taking. Why more execution is taking? Because one by one gets executed. Anybody taking more time to execute, they are called what kind of applications? Heavyweight components, they are called. Heavyweight components, they are called. Heavyweight components, they are called. This type of any program satisfies these four things. It is known as what process based applications we can call. Process based applications we can call. So, in process based applications, what will be present? What are the process based applications? Also called as what single threaded modeling languages we can call. Single threaded modeling languages we can call. Which contains what? Single thread will be present, provides a sequential execution, takes more execution time, that takes what? Heavyweight components. These are called process based applications. There exists a single thread. Only one thread will execute everything. And the next is called what? These are called heavyweight. And one more thing is, once your process program is completed, again if I run the program, process will be created again. It will take lot of time. But in thread-based application, next application is called what? Thread-based. This is called olden days, very olden days people used to use it. And nowadays, every app is going to contain what? Thread-based application. Every app, every internet world application is comes under thread-based application. Coming to this is one environment of C++ environment. Go to the next diagram. Next diagram I am going to give you. Python diagram I am going to explain. Python execution environment I am going to show you students. Here I am going to talk about it. Python environment students. Be careful. Here I will make two partitions. I'll show the example very soon. Very soon I will show you in the same class. This is comes under Python programming language execution environment. Python programming language execution environment. Python language execution environment I'm going to take it. Python programming language execution environment I'm going to take it. So how this is going to be available? In this Python programming language execution environment, there are two things are available students. There are two things are available again in terms. Number one, default execution environment, programmatic environment. Default, default execution environment. Python default, Python default execution environment. Default execution environment. Environment. Default execution environment. Next one more is called what? Next one more is called what? Python programming execution environment. Python programming execution environment. Programmatic. Programmatic execution environment. Both of them are different. Be careful. In default execution environment, what I am having here, as usually you take it, def def. Some statements I am having, as usual, some statements are there. Here also I will take it as what? Y function also I will take it. Y function also I will take it. Z function also I am taking. K function also I will take it. These are my functions. Be careful. So Z function and these are called what? K function. These are my functions. What will happen in the main program? What is happening in main program? Function definition cannot execute on their own. Main program I am writing. Under this main program, what I am doing, you already know that what I am doing. Here you are saying X function you are calling. Next you are calling Y function. Next you are calling Z function. Z function you are calling. Here you are calling Z function. Here you are calling the function name called k. These are the function calls you are doing. Who will execute your Python program? PVM. So PVM, be careful. So here it is called PVM. So it is going to be containing here, PVM is going to come into picture. Here it is going to come to PVM. PVM execution, program execution started by PVM. Program execution started by PVM. So be careful, students. Try to understand. So PVM is going to start. So PVM is going to start the execution. So here I'm going to write it. PVM is going to start the execution. This PVM is internally containing, this PVM internally initiates one thread whose name is called main thread, we can call, whose name is called a main thread. So I'm going to write first time, I'll show you that is my first program I'm going to execute. That is the first program I will execute, whose name is what? Main thread. What is the name of the thread? PVM by default contains main thread. I will show you that. So first, that is also one important question. What will happen now? PVM will go to, makes this thread to go to X definition, executes it, and then coming to where again? Main program. It is getting executed. Coming to next main program. In the main program, it will go to where again? Y function. It will execute again. It will execute again. It will come to Z function. Again, it will go to Z function. It will go to Z function, execute Z function. It will come to where again? K, and it will go to where again? K function, and it will execute it, and then end of the program execution. How this is executed? One by one, now all at once. Come on. That is going to be known as which execution? Single. That is known as which execution? Sequential execution. This is comes under sequential execution. By default, main program, by default, Python program also contains how many threads? Single thread. Which thread? Single thread. That I will show you the execution. So who will execute my function in Python? Thread will execute. What is the name of the thread? Main thread. Let me go to the program now. Let me show the Python program for that. All these things are conceptually important. Program for demonstrating demonstrating or program for finding. First example, program for finding program for finding the default thread. Default thread. First of all, default thread is there or not there, that I want to find out. So for finding the default thread, we have to use one function name. What is the name of the function? Current underscore thread. Every function of Python belongs to module. This function belongs to the module called threading. Threading dot current thread. This threading I need to import. Import threading. Import threading. Threading dot what current thread. This will return dot name. I will write it. Don't worry about the name. I will tell you that. Nothing to worry. Current underscore thread is called what? Function name. What is the use of function? To give some result. Current thread will bring the name of the thread which is currently available in the Python program. Name of the thread. Name of default thread. Name of default thread is equal to t name. T name. And don't worry about this name and all. I will tell you. First, today you understand about the current thread. Current underscore thread is a function name, predefined function name. Present into which module? Threading. So now I am writing default thread name. Default thread name dot py. Default thread name dot py. So go to the place. Here I am writing 9 a.m. Under that, what threads. Here I am having threads. You try to save it. Default thread name dot py. So coming to this place, go to the command prompt. You can execute even in PyCharm also, no problem, students. What I am showing here. So coming to this place, e colon KVR Python Python. Say this is comes under what say 9 a.m. 9 a.m. So go to this now threads. Threads is asked by py. See the answer. What is the default thread name? Main thread. Main thread. This main thread. It is printing. So how can you prove that every Python program contains a thread? It is a way. Now I want to go for flow of the default thread. How this flow will be? How this flow will be? Online students, go to the Python. Now program for program for showing internal flow of internal flow of default thread. Default thread. There I am saying import threading. Import threading def welcome welcome. Here I am writing welcome function. Welcome function executed by I will write it. I'll write it. Dot format of threading dot current underscore thread dot what name name. This is called one function name I am writing. Welcome function. Simply I am printing the name of the thread. That means this function executed by what? One thread. Every function executed by the thread I said. If I say this sentence in the functions of our programming, you will get confused. That's why I'm making it. Actually, PVM will execute program. In the program, what is present? Functions will present. But functions are internally executed by what? Thread. Thread. So, coming to the point back, here I will take it. One more function I will take it. What is my next function? Something like hello function. This is called a hello function. Hello function executed by some more thread. Next I'm going to write it one more function. So this is called hi function. So hi function executed by thread name also I want to print. Enough. I'm having how many threads? How many functions? 3. Main program. See this program execution. Here I am writing. Just a beautiful flow I am showing. Meeku ardhamavutayi again. If you don't understand, it's a different story. So here program execution started. Program execution started. Execution started. Started. Started by whom? Started by whom? Format of what is that? I will write it. Threading dot. I'm writing like this. I'm writing like that. So I think you are following me. So this is one thing. Close it. Then program execution ended by. Program execution ended by. So ended. The same thread. In middle of it, what I am calling? Welcome. Welcome. Next is called what? Hello. Next is called what? Hi. Right. Done. Done. What is this line number? Line number could draw up. Just ఊరికే మీకు అర్థం అవడానికి. This is 6th line. This is which line? 8th line. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోలేదు. అండ్ మీకు మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ డౌట్ వెదర్ ఇట్ విల్ కమ్ ఆర్ నాట్. Line number 14. Line number 14. Because you will get lot of doubts. That's why I'm writing. Line number 16. Line number what? 18. Line number 18. Line number what? 20. So start. How the flow will be? Program execution. Now I'm going to. Here no more threads are there in my Python program. First time you are seeing that. First it will come to which line? Line number 11. Em Babu, are you okay? Line number 11. Line numbers కూడా వస్తున్నా. Why line numbers? గుర్తుండదని. Line number 11. Testers. These are all testers. Benchmarks. Line number 11. Line number 11 printed. Program execution started by main thread will print. Main thread is a default thread. This line will come. This line will come. From line number 15, it will go to where? It will go to this line. Line number 4 printed. After printing, which thread? Main thread only will execute. It will come back to which line? Line number 16. Line number 16 to 17. 17 to where it will go? Line number 6 to execute. From here it will come to where? Line number 18, line number 19. It will go to 19, eighth line. It will come to line number 20, 21, 22. Like that it will continue. This indicates main program entries and your functions executed by the single thread called main thread only. That is the point here. So this is called what? Default thread, default thread flow, default thread flow dot py, default thread flow dot py. Beautiful programming. It's E colon 9 a.m. threads. Here it is threads. So there I'm going to write it. Flow, execute, py. See that. చూసుకోండి ఒకసారి. Line number 11. Program execution started by main thread. Line number 14. Line number 4 went to main thread. Line number 6 to main. 6 again function. What is the thread? Main thread. 18 main. 8 again function. Line number 20 main. Program execution ended. This indicates who executed. Main thread only will execute main program entries plus functions which are present in my program. This will take more time or not? That means myself only doing my own work plus functions also myself only getting executed. It takes what time? More time. That means your parents are doing their own job, plus they are doing your job also. That is nothing but what? Single thread is performing everything. Or in your home there is a function. You are alone. Your parents are here and you are somewhere else. Your parent only doing that operations one by one only. It will take lot of time. This is called one type of flow. This is called which environment? Default environment of Python. Now I'm coming to which environment? Programmatic environment I am going to get it. Able to get me? So let us go to the default environment of Python is over. Now I'm coming to programmatic environment of Python. I'm going to take it. Programmatic environment I'm going to talk. How simple it is. Come. Here I'm going to take up. Here I'm going to take up how simple it is. So let me remove this. Here I'm going to remove this. So I will take out. And now I'm going to talk about it. How these things are now. Sir, what are you planning? So I am planning that executing one by one will take lot of time. Let the program execution starts. Let the main program starts. Here I am writing main program now. Here I am writing main program now. Main program I am taking. So this main program is doing what now? In this main program, what is happening? Here I am taking X function. Be careful. X function. Next is called as usual Y function. Next Y function. Next is called what you know Z function. Z function. Next is called K function, students. K function. Do you know what is happening, students? Do you know what is happening, students? Here, if we carefully observe it, as usual, PVM starts its program execution. Yes, perfect. And PVM starts and PVM also initiates which thread? Come on, main thread. This is called a main thread. Main thread initiates. Do you know internally what are you doing? You already felt that earlier it is executing what? One by one only. It is going to take what? Sequential execution. It takes lot of time. Today, what are you doing? You are creating your own flow. You are creating your own flow of control. So X is having its own flow of control. Y you are creating your own flow of control. Z you are creating your own flow of control. K you are creating your own flow of control. This is called what? Subthread. Spell out. Subthread you are creating. Sir, how to create subthread? Subthread 1, subthread 2, subthread 2, and here subthread 3. Subthread 3. You are creating subthread 3. You are creating what here? Subthread 4. How many threads you are creating? Four. These four subthreads are nothing but the under the control of which thread? Main thread. Main thread. Like a parent under that multiple children. They are doing their own operation and main thread is just monitoring it. Tell me, what the flow tell me first? When the program execution started, what is created? Main thread. The main thread, I wrote some statements to create what? Subthreads. Subthread creation is nothing but creating an object of thread class. How do you create a list object? L1 is equal to list of. How do you create a tuple? T is equal to tuple of. How do you create dict? D is equal to dict of. How do you create a student class? S1 is equal to student of. How do you create thread? T1 is equal to thread of. Thread is a class. Present in where? Threading. Threading. What is T1? What is a T1? Quick. What is a T1? Object of which class? Thread class, which is called subthread 1. Next, what is T2? Object of which class? Thread class, which is subthread 2. What is T3? Object of which class? T3. Thread class, which is a subthread 3. Thread 4, which is called what? Subthread 4, which is of which type? T1, T2, T3, T4 are called what? Subthreads we can call. They are subthreads. These threads are meant for what? Executing X, executing Y, executing Z, executing T4. How this work will be going on? All at once or one by one? All at once. That is known as which execution? Parallel execution or simultaneous execution. So my Python programming contains how many threads here? Two types of threads. One is called what? Main thread. Second is called what? Subthreads. What is the role of subthreads? Subthreads will do what only? Each subthread will execute the designated or target function only. T1 is targeted to execute what? X. T2 targeted to execute Y. How to target it? I will write the syntax. T3 for Z, T4 for X, and T1, T2, T3 are monitored by what? Main thread. In this case, main thread will not execute XYZ functions. Who will execute XYZ functions? T1, T2, T3, T4 only. So you tell me, because of the programmatic approach, is it becoming fastest execution or not? So how many threads are there here? Two threads. One is a main thread, one more is a subthread. When main thread and subthreads are there, main thread will execute what entries only? Main program entries are executed by which thread? Main thread. And the functions logic is executed by which threads? Subthread. If no subthreads are available, main thread only will be the whole and sole responsible for executing the total functions. That will take more time. Lightweight component or no? Taking less time or no? Is it providing multiple threads or no? That is called what? Takes more time. Heavyweight component containing single thread by default. Programmatical I can create what? Multiple subthreads I can create. How many? Depends on my number of functions. So which approach is going to be a multi-threaded approach is programmatic approach is a multi-threaded approach. I hope it is clear. And now I will show this kind of second one I will show you. Second one I will show you. Please look at that carefully. Online student sees the diagram is clear. So not responding, simply keeping quiet. I don't know what are you doing. Is it clear for all of you? Let us go to the execution now. Go to the execution. Simple. Now I'm going to take up this entire thing, copy this entire thing. Now I'm going to write it here. Others, Python here. So here I'm writing subthreads internal flow. Subthreads internal flow. I'm writing subthreads flow. Subthreads internal flow. Internal flow.py. Program for showing internal flow of which one? Subthreads. Subthreads under default thread. Under default thread also I'm going to show. How it is going to be, mom? Threading. Welcome. Same thing only. Same statements only, not changing at all. Line number, same thing. But I'm not going to call welcome like this. I'm not going to call welcome like this. So these lines I am not necessary to worry about it. These lines I am not necessary. So how this welcome function I'm going to execute? Not normally. With threading I'm going to do. So how many threads I want to create? Subthreads. Simple. I have three functions with me. I'm calling my three friends. Why I'm calling three friends? To perform three operations. Earlier I performed what? Myself only performed three functions, which takes a lot of time. How do you do now? Here, comment Roshan. Create three subthreads. Three subthreads. How do you create? T1 is equal to threading dot. Threading is a module. Thread is a class. Threading is a module. Thread is a class. A module is a collection of variable names, function names, class names. How do you call? Module name dot class name. Of target is equal to T1 is targeted to which function? Welcome. Welcome. What is welcome? What is welcome? Function name. Every function name is called object. Where the welcome is an object. And close. That's all. So T1 is targeted to whom? Welcome function. Okay, welcome function over. T2 is equal to next targeting to whom? Hello. Hello. This is hello. This is T2. Next T3 is targeted to whom? T3 is targeted to whom? Hi. Hi. This is a function T3. T3. What are T1, T2, T3 are called? Here, Rosanu. Here, T1 is called. Here, T1 is called object. Thread object. Is called thread object. Is called thread object. Whose name is? Whose name is thread hyphen 1. Thread hyphen 1. T2 is called what? Object name, which is having internally one name. Difficult difficult words, but they are dead easy. Thread 2. Here this is called T3. T3, whose name is what? T3. Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3 are called what? Subthreads. Maheshu, Rajeshu, Ramesh are called what? Subthreads. Maheshu, Rajesh, Ramesh are called what? Names of what? Subs. Whose name is what? S1, S2, S3. S1, S2, S3 are what? Objects. Whose name? Ramesh, Rajesh, Rakesh, something. So S1, S2, S3 are what? Objects. They have names. What is the default name? Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. They are called what? Subthreads. What is the main thread? Main thread only. It is printed what here? Main thread. When I go for a T1, T2, T3, these are called what? Subthreads are created, ready to go to execute this welcome, hello, hi. Now, dispatch the subthreads. Dispatch the subthreads means what? Dispatching means what? Send. You set T1, you do this. T2, you do this. T3, you do that. They said, okay, sir, I will do. What do you need to tell next? Go. Ready, start now. So T1 dot start, T1 dot start, T2 dot start, T3 dot start, T3 dot start. What is T1? T1 and Madhubabulu. Object of which class? Thread class. In the thread class, this is an instance method. T1 dot start, T2 dot start, T3 dot start. Start makes what? Subthread to go to the target function. What is the target function? Hello, hi, and welcome. All the threads will go to the designated functions and targeted functions. Program execution ended by which thread? Main thread. Started by whom? And these functions are executed by whom? Subthreads. Execute cheyandi sir. Execute that. See this now. Go to the flow. Here I am going to write it. Actually, it's a very easiest programming, but people will feel difficulty. Right? Done. So save this code. And timing would measure this. We'll measure the time also. See that now. Beautiful. Line number 11. Program execution. Main thread. Program execution ended by whom? Main thread. చూసుకోండి అక్కడ. Fourth line, welcome function executed by whom? Thread 1. 6 executed by whom? Thread 2. Hello. Hi function executed by whom? Thread 3. దానికి మీరు నేమ్స్ ఇచ్చుకోవాలనుకున్నారు అనుకోండి. You can give your own name. T1 dot name is equal to what? Rakesh. Rakesh is assigned to do the work. Next is called thread 2. I'll explain this. Don't worry. Next class I will explain. 2 dot name is equal to Ramesh. This is Ramesh is executing. Next T3 dot T3 dot giving your own name. These are all libraries only. Name is equal to what you know, Ramu is called Ramu. So you are giving you your own name. Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3 are default subthread names. Rakesh, Ramu, Ramesh are called what? Programmer defined subthread names. Execute. Execute this. How beautiful it is. Welcome function executed by Rakesh. 6 executed by Ramesh. Hi executed by Ramu. And main thread is going to be executing only main program entries. Subthreads are subprograms are executed by what? Subthreads. So this is comes under which based application? Programmatic application, thread based application. This program is called thread based application. What about this application is called default environment. So if we come back to this place, here I'm going to show you one simple concept here. One small concept I want to show you. That concept is called very simple concept I want to show you. Here I'm going to show you types of applications here. Just to try to learn, understand, start. The purpose of multi-threading is that to provide concurrent execution or simultaneous execution or parallel execution. Nothing but what? Executing all at once. I will tell you executing all at once meaning also I will tell you. Perfect meaning I'll tell you. In industry, we have two types of applications or languages. Process based, thread based. Process based is already outdated. Process based applications. Process based applications contains a single thread. Process based applications provides a sequential execution one by one. Process based applications takes more execution time. Process based applications are treated as a heavyweight. C++. Thread based applications contains what? Single default thread you have seen. Also contains what? Multiple threads also. Programmatically we can create multiple threads. These threads will provide both sequential as well as, if it is only default, it is sequential. If it is more than one, it will provide concurrent. Takes what time? Less execution time. I did not show you the time. I will show the time also because time is not sufficient. In next class, I'll show the timing. Single thread timing, multiple threads timing, I will explain. This is going to be taken as a lightweight components. Here they are called heavyweight. These are the examples of thread based. I want to show you one more thing. Thread based application I want to show you. Now our present topic is what? Multi-threading means thread based applications we need to learn it. The purpose of multi-threading is same. Parallel execution. Concurrent execution is nothing but executing the operations all at once. The advantage of concurrent execution is that to get less execution time. If Python program contains multiple threads, then it is called a multi-threading program. Definition of thread I am going to give you. A flow of control is called thread. The purpose of thread is that to perform certain operation whose logic developed in functions or methods concurrently. By default, every Python program contains single thread whose name is multi-thread and it provides a sequential execution. You have seen program Rasam. You have seen it. Programmatically, in a Python program, we can create multiple threads or subthreads, child threads also, whose purpose is to execute operations whose logic written in functions or methods. You have seen it. Hi function, welcome function executed by subthreads only. Hence, programmatically, a Python program contains two types of threads. Main thread, subthreads or child threads. Main thread is created, initiated by PVM when the program execution starts. whose role of main thread is to execute main program statements and monitor the execution status of subthread. If subthreads exist, subthreads present, whose status can be maintaining. If subthreads does not exist in Python program, then main thread will only execute main program statements and functions. You have seen already. The subthreads or child threads always executes the operations whose logic written in where functions or methods. You have seen already here. These subthreads are executing functions which you have written. That time main program is executed, ending and started by main thread only. Whatever I wrote it, it is true practically I wrote it. Next I will show you in the next class when I come back, I will show you the timing. Why multi-threading is required in the present world. I will show the execution time. So one by one doing what time, parallelly doing what time, I am going to show you the execution time. Okay now? So today's concept is clear, I hope so, with my different diagrams. With my different diagrams. Actually, I can show that today that example has to do because the hybrid inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. Because of that, this is not getting that. Otherwise, I would have been completing that example also. So you try to go for that example. Tomorrow class, I will explain to you. And don't miss tomorrow class. And that to Saturday, don't do any underground activities. Come to the class. So it is very important. Don't miss it. Thank you. Carry on, students. Online students, if any doubts are there, you hold on. I'll talk to you. Online students, any more doubts are there? You can raise your hands. Uma. Uma.
Sir, I have one question. Actually, I'm posting one program in the chat window, sir.
Where is that, ma?
Have you got it, sir? Sir, when I execute this, what I thought was every time a new list will be appearing. Let's say if I pass only one, so only one will be there. But after every print statement, actually it is appending to the previous value.
Okay.
Since we made the default argument b equal to empty list, why isn't every time the b value is not resetting, sir?
Where are you going for this now? You are calling F1.
Yes, sir.
You say this. When you go to this place, you are not holding the b value anywhere else.
Yes, sir. So ideally, every time the b value should be new one. But it is not in that way, sir.
No, what is this way? This a function is created.
Yes, sir.
Print of this one. This is F1.
Yes, sir. I'm passing only one argument.
This is your passing and going to this B. And B is coming. So it is returning B.
Yes, sir.
Now the next you are calling F2.
Yes, sir.
What is happening?
Ideally,
again it is going to give you 1, 2.
Why 1, 2, sir? I'm saying I'm just passing only one argument, and B by default it is an empty list. So when I append an 2 to the empty list, it written only 2, no, sir?
Do you know what is happening? When you are passing any collection object, it is going to take the reference. It is work like a call by value. Call by reference.
Okay.
Call by reference. When you pass an object, you go through
Oh,
our function once. Functions concept. It is working like a reference.
okay.
Reference variable.
But here, okay, when we say reference variable, two might be reference, but why in the signature we are saying, okay, if I don't pass it, you make B equal to empty listener, sir.
Hmm. So if you don't mind, my please, can you read that functions approach number 2, approach
Ah,
number 3, 4? I said some examples, list
okay, sir.
examples. Just to
Okay,
go
sir.
through once, you'll
Okay,
find
sir.
this answer.
Okay. So
Hmm.
I'll the answer there itself, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay, okay, sir. And another question I have is, sir, can we, please forgive me if I missed in the class,
Hmm.
whether can we make the constructor private? The reason behind I'm asking this is, in C++, we have some singleton patterns. I'm not only in C++, normally in design patterns, we have this singleton pattern, no, sir.
What is
So
singleton pattern?
in singleton in if we follow the pattern, what happens is it will.
No, no, no. What is singleton pattern, first of all?
Yes, sir. So in that pattern, we will be allowed only to create a single object of that class. It will not allow the creation of multiple object of that class, as per my knowledge, sir.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for that in C++, what we used to do is we used to make the constructor private
Hmm.
and give a static method to the user, so that first in that static method we'll also have a data member which is of that same class object. We'll make it null, and if we see if it is null, then we will create it and then give it to the user through that static method. If
Hmm.
that object is not null, we will return the same object. So in Python, is there a possibility of making the constructor private, sir?
No, I already said in the class, constructor name in C++, constructor name and then class name is same.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But in the case of
Python, it
here,
is not.
it's not that. I
Yes,
already
sir.
said in the class only,
Yes, sir.
abstraction level, encapsulation level, you
Yes,
cannot
sir.
make constructors as private.
Yes, sir. So how can we achieve this, sir? Then
It's not
actually,
possible. It's not possible here.
in Python, it's not possible to achieve the similar way, right, sir?
Not possible. Design patterns, singleton pattern is not there in this case.
Okay, sir. Okay,
You
sir.
know?
Thanks for clarifying. Yeah,
Right, right,
I'll make a note of it. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, those are the questions which I have.
right.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, students, take care. And anybody is having the doubt, and you can raise your hands. So tomorrow class, and we move to the further. And don't miss the tomorrow class. Very, very important.